If you're struggling how to use Revit to create this truss, then here is something I did to help do the angles. First of all, I put two T's 240mm apart, and I'm on a front view. And then I set out where the holes would be. So this is the center line of a hole here, and this is the center line of a hole here. Then I created this parallel reference line. You can then create more parallel reference lines. It locks on these and makes sure these are all parallel. And I set these out at a center where the holes would be, and then 11.1 either side for the T leg, and then 3.2mm there between those two for the depth of the T. So I can imagine now this T would be here, and wanting to look at how long this T would be and how it fits so it doesn't hit this bit. So if I zoom in on here, I could say, well, this is going to be the hole there. The T wants to come along here, wants to get as close as you can to here. Obviously it would hit if it gets too long. So it's got to be cut off about here. So I do a create a reference plane, and then say did it from this one, and then did it perpendicular. You can see that perpendicular symbol. So it could easily be as long as that, and it could probably go a little bit longer. So let's have a look what this distance is. So if I measured what this distance is, so this distance, let's zoom in a bit more because it was doing it. So here and then perpendicular, so that's 3mm. So that's quite tight. Let's see what different distance is from this hole. 21.8. So we can make this a nice round number. Let's see what the dimension is. So it's 21.8 this end. Let's see what it is at the other end. See if we can make things the same. So this time we don't want it to fly past this, otherwise it would be outside the T if we did it here. So if I draw my line now, I'd be looking at something like here, and then perpendicular to there. Let's see how far that is now from this here. And now this is only 14.4. Let me draw this circle in just so that you can imagine. Let me do a void extrusion and do it as a circle. So it goes here, and the diameter of the holes are 8mm, so it's 4mm radius. So let's just type in 4. So that's my hole. Now you want at least one diameter beyond here. So if this is an 8mm, you want at least 8mm so that this doesn't get pulled out in tension. So let's have a look at this dimension we've got. From here to here, we've got 10.1mm. So if we made that 10mm, so if we made this here a set dimension, so from the center line here, that would be 14mm. Yeah, so something like 14.1. So at the other end, let's have a look, see what that would look like. So 14.1 would come to somewhere like here, and then you'd have another one on the other side bolted through. So let's have a look at the full dimension. Remind ourselves what this dimension is. So from the center of this hole to the center of this hole is 435. So down at that bottom end, I could do with it being a bit longer. So I've come back to the top end, and said if I went right to the edge, how far would that distance be? So this is 17mm, and the distance between was 435. So I get a length of about 470 for this to be, which is 2 17s and the 435, so about 470. and then the holes would be this dimension here. There'd be 17 mil away from the ends, or 5.2 centres. So let me now draw that. So if I zoom out here, so I want to have it here, but it's going to be difficult to draw at that angle, so I'm going to draw it straight up here, and then I'm going to rotate it and see if it fits. So I'm now going to go to the left view. So if I'm now here, I've got this T here, this T here, and I'm going to draw an angle, and the angle is going to fit here. Can you imagine that it's going to be on that side? So I'm now going to create a reference plane that goes from there this way. So some angle is going to be on this side, and then alternate ones are going to go on to the other side, otherwise they would clash. So I'm going to zoom in on here, and I'm going to draw the T. It doesn't really matter anywhere, so I'll just draw a reference plane here. So this T is 3.2 millimeters thick, so I'll make this dimension just delete that. So make this one 3.2. So I'm drawing it here. I'll make another line down here, and this one would also be 3.2. This is the thickness of the, and then the whole leg is 25.4. So if I take this as the corner, I went from here, that's 25.4 from there, so it's 22.2 from here, and likewise it would be 22.2 from there. So now I can see this angle would be like this. So I'm going to draw this. So create extrusion from here, 25.4 round here, and then press tick. If I go to the front view, I've got something which is 250. And if I clicked on this, I know that I wanted it about 470. So I could stretch it to where I think 470 is, or I could do create this as another family. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to create this as 470 now. So I'm going to create a reference plane here. I'm going to dimension this here, and then I'm going to make this the 470. So I've made that now 470 long here. I'm now going to rotate it, but I need to find out what this angle is. So if I zoom in here, I want to find out what this angle is to rotate it to. So I could do this, measure this angular dimension from this plane to this plane, and it's saying it wants to be 24.83. So let's double escape that, go on to here, and let's press let's get this rotating. So I'll start from here, and then I want it to go to 24.83. So that's now should slide down into this location. So let's press move, and let's pick it by that corner, and then take it to this corner here. So it didn't work. Let's try it again. Move this by that corner to that corner. I think it's on ortho snap, so it'll only do it in the one direction. So that's done it. So now let's see if that's fit. Let's see, yes, I'm happy. It's just that slight difference from what we had. There could be a hole here and a hole here, and then you'd work out that angle. So this one now, so I've created this family which is called 2Ts. If I wanted to make this one a finished product, what I could do now is I could create the void extrusion in here, and then I could do file save as a family of just this angle, delete these, delete this bit and this bit, they were just for setting out and calculating it, and then could put that into the family. Okay, so if you save that as a right side angle, so if you go into the right, that's a right side angle, which you've drawn up here and put it there. Oh no, hang on. I just look at that, that's actually ended up on the left hand side. So you want to say one of them is a left hand side angle, one is a right side angle. You then want a family called a top T, a family called a bottom T, and also a family called a bolt. And then all those families can then be uploaded into your project, where you can produce a drawing in line with what I've shown you, including the schedule with those titles. And obviously all these things need to have parametrics. So if I go back to this front view, I'd be expecting you to have on this left angle length and any other dimensions you think are worthwhile for someone to be able to produce this. Okay, thank you, good luck.